What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We are
Live, baby.
on the
That's what we are.
other side.
We is live.
We is live. Hey, Mama D. How are you? How are you? I'm gonna wait for a few people to tune in. We've got one hell of a topic for everybody tonight.
Tonight.
You look like you need to be strung up on like a wooden post in the middle of a field. Scaring
That
birds.
sounded racist.
No, you look like a scarecrow.
That's racist. I should be strung up on a post in the middle of a
Yeah,
field?
scaring birds.
Scaring birds?
Yeah, scarecrow. That hat makes you look like a scarecrow. I say what I said.
Mother.
Lord. All right, we got a few more people. Definitely say hi in the comments. Let us know you're here, guys.
Let us know you are here.
I'm going to wait for a couple more minutes before we get started.
How did my hat get crooked?
That's why I said it looks like weird.
Yeah, it's crooked. I haven't worn it in a while. We gotta wear it tonight. There it goes.
I hope everybody in Virginia is going to enjoy the weather this week. It is supposed to be in the 60s.
That's pneumonia weather. Listen, y'all, people. Make sure that just because it's warm outside don't mean it's time to have your legs out, your ass out, short sleeves and all that. Oh yeah, people. I be seeing people. The weather be 50 just because it's been 30 all week. You got your damn legs and ass out. I'm old school. Keep your
Michael
arms
Brooks.
covered and your legs covered.
Fredericksburg Paranormal in the house.
That's what us old school folks call pneumonia weather. What's up, Michael? It's pneumonia weather. Just because it's a little bit warm outside don't mean it's time to be outside with your clothes off.
There we go. Bop, bop, bop.
Put some damn clothes on.
Who else is in here? Say hi. Say hi, say hi.
Everybody's gonna be.
What's up, Howie?
Everybody's gonna be sniffling. The doctors and God hiccups. The doctors in the house.
Howie, this is a conversation you're probably gonna want to stay for. Be honest with you.
Oh, won't you stay?
Just a little bit longer.
Please, 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 please.
This is not karaoke.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of karaoke, we got Howie to sing karaoke with us.
Yeah, he killed it. Some country.
Yeah, Howie did kill it. Howie had the crowd involved and everything.
Yeah, baby.
I was like, look at Howie up here putting on the whole show. Sorry, y'all. I was trying to share this out and Midwest Baddie, whoever that is on my Facebook.
The Midwest Baddie.
And some kind of song on.
Yes, Howie. Yes.
I don't know who the Midwest Baddie is, but shout out to the Midwest Baddie.
Where are all my people? Y'all taking a nap. Y'all went to the cookout with Ronnie. We didn't get no invite to the cookout. Sad. Well, either way, in about 30 seconds, Daryl Paulette with the Spirit of Clover Hill, Bedford Paranormal, and the Appomattox County Historic Jail. If y'all have not investigated Clover Hill Village or the Appomattox Jail, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Hit up my man Daryl. Book yours today.
We live, baby.
26 schedule is now open for both locations.
Yes.
Yes. That is actually going to be our first team event of the year. Let's see. I'll tell you what I've noticed in the past 4 weeks, everybody's viewers are down like 0.75%. People are losing interest evidently in podcasts. Not sure what's up. We got to change up and make them happy again. Well, typically last week was actually a really good week for us. I noticed the views were up on TikTok. Ronnie Anderson, I think you took all of our viewers to the cookout with you, but I'm glad you made it. Shout out Bedford Paranormal.
Yeah, I noticed TikTok, we've been getting a lot more people watching than here, and that's okay. Actually, Chris and I had some pretty good viewers on our random live the other night.
Well, thanks, Daryl. We can't see you. Wait to see you either. All right, guys, I'm going to get started. So tonight's topic, as you can see by the title, interdimensional architecture and the paranormal. Big words. Big words. Yes, big words. Interdimensional architecture and the paranormal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because we got a lot to talk about, guys. What's up, Ron Wood with Booze Paranormal? Shout out.
Mr. Wood.
James Brady and the lovely Miss Kim, wherever she may be.
What's up, James?
Yes, the holidays, man. Something. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of, in that zone right now. Everybody's trying to write 26 on paper instead of 25.
I've been saying 25 still, y'all. I'm cool with it.
I did an entire 3 providers insurance verifications at work today and marked 2025 on them, and I had to go back and redo them. I was very upset. But without further ado, interdimensional architecture and the paranormal. I want everybody to let me know in the comments what they think interdimensional architecture and the paranormal have to do with each other. I'm going to give you guys, spit a little bit of facts at you guys, because that's what I do. And then I'm going to let Sean go ahead and deep dive for y'all, because that's what he does. But dimensions of the universe. Okay. So the dimensions of the universe offer an extremely fascinating view of the structure and the nature of reality. So I'm going to go through. There's a lot of different speculations. Is there 9 dimensions, 10 dimensions, 13 dimensions? I even saw, while doing some research, a page that said there's 27 dimensions. That's insane. I'm going to go over the basic 9 dimensions. Okay. I'm going to touch on them briefly. You guys, if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop them in between a few. I'm going to check some comments and keep on rolling. Okay. But what are the dimensions of the universe and how many exactly do exist? The dimensions of the universe are different levels of existence that allow us to perceive and experience reality in different ways. Okay. So each dimension adds a different layer of complexity and offers us a new perspective on how the cosmos function. All right. The universe has what is to be believed as 9 dimensions, each with its own function, each with its own characteristic, but all of them intertwine. Okay. Each dimension offers a new level of understanding and then invites us to expand our consciousness into a deeper and more meaningful reality. All right. So that's just a brief synopsis, but one by one, here are the 9 dimensions of the universe with a brief summary. Okay. The first dimension, which is also called 0 dimension, is the dimension of unity. At this level, everything is one, and there is no separation or distinction between things. Okay. Everything in the universe is interconnected, and it's a part of one single reality. The second dimension is duality. This reality in the second dimension is divided into 2 opposite and complementary aspects, such as positive and negative, day and night, masculine, feminine, etc. So in this dimension, existence is experienced through polarity, which allows for the creation of contrast and diversity. That's super important, guys. All right. The dimension, this particular dimension teaches us that duality is a fundamental part of the human experience. And although things may seem opposite, there are actually 2 sides of the same coin. All right. Then you pop over to the third dimension, which is Trinity. The third dimension introduces the idea of Trinity, where the dual aspects of the second dimension integrate to form a 3-dimensional reality. At this level, we experience life through height, width, and depth, allowing us to interact with the physical world in a more complex way. All right. We also experience a trinity of body, mind, and spirit. The third dimension is where consciousness manifests in an actual material form, enabling us to see, touch, and feel the world around us. The integration of different aspects of our existence allows us to have a more complete and balanced experience of reality. All right. Let me check on some comments here. Let's see. Yes, yes. Howie, I figured you would like this. Hey, Kim. There are too many dimensions constantly keeping me off balance. Hopefully, this show will help get you back on balance. This comment's for you, Sean Elliott.
We live, baby.
That's right. Robert Ebert, all the way from TikTok land and the great state of Florida. What's up, Robert?
What's the weather like in Florida, Robert?
All right, moving right along. The fourth dimension, this happens to be my favorite. I'm going to explain to you later why. The fourth dimension is the dimension of time. Fourth dimension is the dimension of time. At this level, reality is experienced as a continuous flow of events and moments. It allows us to perceive change, perceive movement. Time is a crucial dimension that enables us to experience life in sequences. So past, present, future. Okay. We can observe how things evolve and change over time. It gives us the opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. And it allows us also to experience life as a series of lessons, challenges, etc. It gives us the ability to reflect on the past, enjoy our present, and make plans for the future. So that is why fourth dimension time is super, super important. Okay. Fifth dimension, consciousness. At this level, we then begin to understand the nature of reality. It is in this dimension that we learn perception and knowledge, where we can observe and analyze our experiences from a higher perspective. So in the fifth dimension, we can see the connections between events and understand how our actions and decisions affected our life. All right, we begin to explore our inner consciousness and then really, truly start to connect with our true essence. We develop self-awareness and reflection in the fifth dimension. And sixth dimension is transformation. Here in this dimension is where we can explore and shape reality from an even higher level of consciousness. We can perceive the interconnection of all things and transform our experiences to align them with an even higher perspective. So right here, reality is fluid and it's in constant change, and it's reflecting the flow and the potential of the universe. All right. The sixth dimension invites us to recognize our role as co-creators of existence. All right. Seventh dimension, and I'm almost done here. Remember, there's only 9. Seventh dimension is the dimension of divinity. At this level, we experience a sense of unity and connection with the universe as a whole. We understand that time is an illusion and everything happens in the now. I'm going to say that one more time because I want you guys to hear that. The seventh dimension is where we experience a sense of unity and connection with the universe and understand that time is an illusion and that everything happens in the now. It's the dimension of enlightenment. Here is where we awaken our true nature as a divine being and feel a deep sense of peace. We realize that everything is one in this dimension. All right. This is a space of unconditional love. This is a space of compassion. This is where we experience beauty, perfection of all creation, and it invites us to really awaken our divine nature. All right. So divinity, seventh dimension. Then the eighth and ninth, we've got the eighth dimension is eternity. The eighth dimension, known as eternity at this level, is experienced from a timeless perspective. All right. This is where all events and moments are seen as a part of a continuous flow. We realize that we might be a part of something much greater. Our existence may extend beyond the limitations of linear time, and we experience an infinite sense of possibility. So you can actually choose any path in this dimension. It invites us to transcend time, see life from a broader and more expansive perspective where past, present, and future actually intertwine into a single flow of existence. Then the last and final dimension is totality. Okay. The ninth dimension is the dimension of totality. At this level, we realize that everything is one. We're connected to everything that exists. It's a dimension of pure consciousness and understanding where we experience the universe as a living and conscious being. We understand that everything in the universe is interconnected and is a part of one single reality. In this dimension, it invites us to awaken to our true nature and experience reality from a state of complete clarity and wholeness. All right. So each of these dimensions provide different ways to perceive reality, which allows us to understand the cosmos from multiple angles and perspectives. And the different perspectives also allow us to perceive and understand the universe from a variety of angles. Rather than being separate spaces or parallel worlds, dimensions are like facets of a single reality that all intertwine and overlap. That can seem confusing, right? So each dimension represents a level of perception. And as we explore it, our consciousness expands greater and greater, allowing us to understand more aspects of the cosmos. All right. You can jump into and deep dive into multidimensionality and consciousness and things like that. Multidimensionality, we can experience and explore different levels of existence. But by this time, you're probably asking, what does this have to do with the paranormal? So I'm going to turn it over to Sean.
Am I asleep?
Sean might be asleep.
Yes, I'm getting there.
It's nice and warm in Florida. Great. So, I mean, this is just research, like a bunch of research, just if you do it. Hey, Paul Fowler.
What's up, Paul?
So, I might have put him into a deep state of consciousness. He might be in a different dimension right now, guys.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I'm going to another dimension.
So, I open the floor for Sean, but I will go ahead and jump over. The reason that this is intertwined into the paranormal, guys, and that was the boring part, is it is believed that spirits operate on the fourth dimension. Okay. So in the realm of physics and mathematics, the fourth dimension is, as I said before, referred to as time in the context of like space-time, the fabric of the cosmos, etc. So, I mean, a spatial dimension is a direction in space that is perpendicular to all other dimensions. So we right now live in a three-dimensional world, with the dimensions being length, width, and height. And the fourth spatial dimension then is a hypothetical direction in space. Again, it runs perpendicular to all three spatial dimensions we experience. So I'm going to give you a scenario so you guys can kind of understand. Imagine you're a stick figure. All right. You're living in a flat two-dimensional world, almost like a drawing on a piece of paper. You can move forward and backwards, left and right, but there is no concept of up or down. That is completely foreign to you. You don't even know what up or down is. This is what life is like in a two-dimensional world. So then when you add the third dimension to the mix, suddenly now you can jump up off of the page. So you can experience depth, and then the world around you becomes much richer and more complex. This is the world that we currently live in, the third or the three-dimensional world. But what if there's another direction entirely different from the three that you guys here in the comments, Sean, me, the dogs, everybody else are used to? Okay. That you can move in. It's not up. It's not down. It's not left, right, forward, or backwards. That is the idea behind the fourth dimension. So basically we can represent like 4D objects using coordinates, and things like that, and get like into the whole mathematical thing. But here's the tricky part. You can't actually visualize the fourth dimension because we are three-dimensional beings. So it's a bit like me asking my stick figure, take a second and imagine jumping off the page. It's just not possible. It's outside of his 2D experience. So we are not physically able to visualize the fourth dimension. So here is how this ties into the bridge to the spiritual realm. Let me check the comments here. All right. Ronnie.
Sorry, I got to play with
Kim, Ronnie's always an asshole. Sean, stop lying. Sean wasn't a trance.
I didn't even say anything. I was playing with the dog.
They're just preemptively making sure you don't lie today.
I'm playing with the dog, y'all.
Yeah, you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. Michelle Wilfong, Haunted Apartment. If you guys don't give her a follow on YouTube.
We live, baby.
Yes, we is live.
I don't know what this dimension stuff. I might not be live.
So this was your idea for a topic. So diving into the realm of the supernatural, angels, demons, and spirits. And yes, I used the D word, Sean. Angels, demons, and spirits. These entities are described as existing in a different plane or a different dimension, almost like invisible and intangible to our physical senses. So it is believed that spirits inhabit the fourth dimension. It's not entirely without merit. If these entities existed in a higher dimension, it could explain why they are completely invisible to us. Just as three-dimensional objects cast a two-dimensional shadow, these four-dimensional beings could essentially interact with our three-dimensional world in ways that are difficult for us to comprehend fully. Okay, do you understand what that means? Yeah. Okay, so what do you take from that?
All of this is a bunch of nonsense.
Okay, so what's your opinion?
I don't believe in none of this.
So you don't believe that spirits are in a different dimension?
I'll let you finish before I get into it.
No, go ahead.
No,
hey, Sylvia.
Before I get into it, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted your opinion on that, and I want everybody else's opinion on that.
I'm going to be honest with you. Do I believe that there are different dimensions? Yeah, I do believe that there are different. All this non-dimension and spirits are able to move vertically and X, Y, and all that bullshit.
I didn't say spirits can move vertically.
All that other stuff, I believe they're being too technical with what they're trying to say. Because what is the proof behind that? What is the proof that spirits can do any of that stuff? Do I believe that there could be multiple dimensions? Could it be that we're not really in the three-dimensional world, that there's 2D and 3D? I do believe that. But I do believe that when it comes with all that other technical stuff that they're throwing in there, I believe it's simple. I believe when you pass away, your spirit could be living amongst the same world you're in the same space that you're in. When it comes to dimension, I believe there is a line, kind of like your eyesight. It's kind of like how we see light differently, how there's different spectrums. That's the word I'm looking for. There's different levels, there's different spectrums of light that we can and can't see. So I believe that that's more like what it is. I don't believe there's stages and dimensions and 9 different. I don't believe in all that.
So Dionysus over here says that it's all true and that there's actually 27 is the correct number, which I did read somewhere in my research that 27 is a potential. Let's see. Ronnie agrees with you. Michelle said, I agree. Maybe different levels to a single dimension, maybe several different dimensions. Let's see what Howie has to say. We're going to take the Sandusky house, shall we, as an example, at the crucial point of 2 spirits interacting within the facility. These 2 spirits not even acknowledging each other, 2 different locations because they're in 2 different dimensions or planes. The fact that we have something even affecting us on this planet proves at least that there's one dimension. As we look at the many plausible possibilities, we at least know there's one possibility. That means there's many, if one, spirits. Okay. I mean, Ronnie, it's all over. Like, I can't give you a single source. Like, I can give you 100 sources. So it's like literally, if you Google dimensions and the paranormal, like you can research for hours and days.
That's true. The article she's reading, I'm not saying she's wrong. And it's not.
I'm just
and it's
giving
not
facts.
Courtney. You're reading. You're reading. It's all theory. I'm not
Absolutely.
saying any of you are wrong. What I'm saying is what I believe.
Right.
And I'm listening to it. I'm listening, and yes, I have ADD. So you'll see me reading myself. You'll see me playing with the dog, and I'm listening to it. As I'm listening, the number one thing that keeps ringing in my head is, where's the evidence to prove it? Where's the research to show 2 million different dimensions? That's what has to. That's what's getting me when I go out and investigate. This is why the REM pods, the K2s, and all this stuff doesn't excite me, because there's millions of factors that will set that equipment off. But what sets off the other stuff with a picture or a video camera or a recorder where I'm getting voices, images, things that have to be captured in the moment, things that have to be physically touched to go off. Hardcore evidence. So when it comes to paranormal, we need hardcore evidence to prove what's going on. Anything beyond hardcore proof or evidence is theory. So we have many different theories when it comes to paranormal. Now, I love the dimension talk because you hear me speak about it, Courtney. And you and I talk dimension theory all the time. I believe that I don't believe in all the extra stuff, but I do believe that there is something dimensional going on in the paranormal. However, I think it's all here. I think it's the dimensions right here amongst us. I believe that the spirit's sitting in this room with me right now, but I can't see it because I'm seeing things in two dimensional, and there's really a three-dimensional world that we're in that we can't see that other dimension amongst us. I don't think there's 9 different or 10 different.
So factually speaking, though,
you can put it into words better than
we
me.
live in a 3-dimensional world, though.
Right. So
that's why they believe that the spirits are hanging out in the 4th dimension, one we cannot see.
I knew you would put it better
like that.
That's why
so
we're good.
Ronnie's asking what backs the literature and how did the writers research this? So a lot of these theories from all the research I did, and I've done hours of research on this. Okay. Before
you go into that, can I say one last thing? With that being said, I meant no disrespect to you by reading all that, because I think it is good that we hear all of this and take it to account when we go investigate these things that are being said, because there's a lot of stuff for years I thought was bullshit, and I go out and investigate, and I at least have it in the back of my mind and say, okay, this is what they were talking about. Let's roll with that and see if it's right or wrong. And sometimes I've been like, okay, that theory is trash.
Right.
And sometimes I went down that road and was like, okay, all right, maybe they're onto something. So it is good that you're saying it. So y'all, I'm not being rude or anything, but while you're reading, I do have to be doing other things in order to pay attention. So go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I do want to answer and address Ronnie, because he said, like, how did the research this? And you actually asked that too. Like, I want to know proof of this. Okay. So a lot of these dimension theories came from a lot of people who experience like NDEs. So like near-death experiences, people who have reported, and notice I'm utilizing air quotes, reported like abductions, alien abductions, and things like that. So, and then, like the dimensions explaining phenomena, like a ghost's ability to dematerialize, like move through walls, appear suddenly, is explained as movement much higher than just our 3D space. Okay. So it appears as though they are able to pop in and out of our 3D space and move amongst the dimensions. All right. But UFOs and like abduction reports and things like that have all contributed to a lot of the actual theory that's put behind this. And then there was, I believe, Dr. Carl Sagan, who used the analogy of a 2D world, so like a flatland, to explain how a 3D could seem to appear and disappear or change shape from a lower dimensional perspective, a concept that's been applied to a lot of paranormal occurrences. Okay. Like a 3D object would be like a cube. A 2D object would be like a square. And then like your 1D object would be just a straight line. And then your 0 dimension would be a dot. So you're building up from there. Okay. The most common idea is that spirits, ghosts, and other entities reside in another dimension, such as the 4th spatial dimension that has to do with time. Their interactions with us are just glimpses or cross sections of their world appearing into ours, similar to how a 3D object would appear to, say, a 2D being. Okay. Some theories suggest that paranormal experiences require an actual altered state of consciousness to perceive these other dimensions, bridging that gap between the physical and spiritual realms. So let me stop right there, and I'm going to let you go ahead and address this. Okay. So Howie put right here a link up for anybody over here. Ronnie is suggesting multiverse, but I am going to go ahead and touch right on that. The theory that suggests that suggests that paranormal experiences require an altered state of consciousness. How many paranormal investigators sit here and the first thing we tell each other is ground yourself. Ground yourself. Angel Morales with Dark Hollow Paranormal in the house. What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
They've got a Paracon coming up, the Haunted Liberty Paracon Para United Expo, August the 8th. If you guys aren't there, you're lame. I said it. I don't care.
Good God.
Be there.
They do have a really good Paracon, y'all.
Yes. Ground yourself, baby. Yes. Hashtag ground yourself, baby.
You know, I want to bring up Angel since he came in here. And we're going to get back to
and I've got a couple more comments here.
Well, we'll get to the comments first.
All right. Mama D said we can feel some type of energy, whether it's paranormal, who knows, but each and every one of us has had that universal energy experience. Good point. Ronnie said, Ed Odell, I would believe that more than someone who claims there are 27 dimensions. Now, the 27, I think, is a little bit extreme, guys. I'm going to say it. That can't access only 3. Now, parallel multiverses crossing or touching that makes us see paranormal activity is a little bit more. You know, we may make this a part 2. I mean, I'm like about halfway done here, so we may have to pull you on here, Ronnie, and have a whole full-on discussion. But what did you want to say to Angel really quick?
So, you know, Angel had asked me a really good question at a Paracon one time. He actually put me on the spot, but he asked me a simple question. And we're going to, this is a whole nother podcast, so I'm not going to dive deep into it. But he asked me, what is energy? We talk about spirits are made up of energy. We always talk about energy. You could use energy from this. You could get energy from that. And he talks about energy. He asked me what it was, and I went to a whole hour-long conversation about energy. But when you break it down to science, you know, the root of the definition is energy is the ability to do work. That's the short answer as to what energy is. Now, you can go into many different types of energy, thermal energy, you know, all kind of different energy, light energy, heat energy. There's many different ways to break down what energy is, but simply it's the ability to do work. All right. And then you can go into Newton's law of energy. You can go into Einstein's theories on energy. We can go into a whole show on energy if y'all like. But when we're talking about dimensions, we have to go back to science and really, what is it? What is a dimension? The dimension is just a measure of space from point A to point B. What is, that's my.
I was like, what just happened? A whole SLS video just popped up on my screen.
But really, a dimension is literally just a measurement of space.
That's the 4th dimension coming up in the computer. See, y'all keep on messing with these dimensions.
Using a specified point in geometry. That's really all a dimension really is. So it goes back to the theory. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. So really, when it goes back to paranormal theories, I got to stop for a second and shout out my brother, Chris Mendez.
What's up, Chris?
From Supernatural Untold Stories.
And the Signal Network.
From the Signal Network, yes.
Come meet him live at the Creep It Real Festival, June 20th, 2026 in Evansburg, Pennsylvania at the Old Stone Jail, guys. Him and Scotty the Medium will be out there. Amazing people.
So when we're talking about dimensions, here on Earth would be a dimension in my opinion. That's just my
now there's theories of this.
This is my theory, but while we're here in this space right here, this room would be a dimension, right? All right. Now, if I'm seeing things, now there are scientists who argue this, that we see that we really only see things in 2 dimensions, right? If we're only really seeing things, what's up, Sully?
Frederick
John
Paranormal.
Sullivan, FPR. If we're really only seeing things in 2D, let's say that scientist who said that we only really see things in 2D, and there really is a 3rd dimension that's really around us that we can't see. Or if there's, Chris, we're on that topic. And there's really another light spectrum that we can't see, which is another dimension that we can't see. And there's spirits all around me that I have no idea that they're here.
Is this the same scientist that said the Earth was flat?
They're still saying the Earth is flat. They're still trying to argue that theory. Lord. There's so many different scientific theories on what's going on. There could be 9 dimensions, but if we're talking about what a dimension actually is, there's millions of them, billions of dimensions.
I mean, I'm not getting into the mathematical perspectives of each dimension. I'm just giving what each dimension spiritually means.
But who came up with
our
that?
Eyes only see 0.003% of the light spectrum. Correct.
Bingo. So if light is considered energy, and this is science, if light is energy and spirits are made up of energy, and we can only see 3%, what about the rest of the percentage of it? That we're not able to see? Is that the dimension that they're speaking of? Because dimensions is space, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dimensions are
space.
Width, height, length.
Height and length.
Yeah.
Right. So
they're taking up space.
So we got to bring in mathematics into this equation.
But then that would be because then you've got length, width,
actually, you're bringing
height,
in algebra at this point.
Circumference. You've got, depending on what you're measuring.
Geometry and
it is very geometric.
Yeah, so
very geometric.
There's a whole lot more to it than just there's dimensions out here that spirits are riding on. I mean, because Ronnie brought up a good point, brought up something too I wanted to touch on. The reason why I think a lot of this is in maybe a 3rd dimension that we don't hear or see in is because the spirit box flips through the channels, and then we'll hear one word here and there, and then it goes on. Or we'll hear a spirit try to say something, and then it flips through. And Ronnie said, well, because it lands on a channel for a split second and then moves on. But I've heard a spirit say a whole sentence flipping through a spirit box, and I'm watching the channels go, but I still hear one voice go across multiple channels.
Which is crazy that you brought that up.
For a period of time.
It's crazy that you brought that up, because while I was doing my research today, I should have freaking saved this. I had no idea that this was going to be brought up, but I will go deep diving for it. But there was something that I read today that said, how does a spirit come through recorders via EVP and spirit boxes via voices when they have no lungs, no air, no vocal cords or anything like that? And then it goes into like a whole scientific thing. And I said to myself, I'm gonna pin this and deep dive into that later, because that's a rabbit hole I'm gonna go down. And I just didn't know it was gonna be. I have a theory on that
as well. But I do want to touch on that, but go ahead with this real quick.
So if you go to a location multiple times and get the same activity with the same spirit, how does that explain a dimension? They're stuck. That would be more like a portal between dimensions. Time doesn't stand still. Either I'm dumb as a bag of hammers, which I may be, but this dimensional shit is out of my league, and I need to go back to square one again in this field.
We all need to go back.
We all need to go back to square one, because when I started going into this, I got
a theory on that too.
When I started getting into this, I literally said,
a good point,
WTF. Like, I literally said that, because this is why. So here's one thing. I'm gonna put this back up here. You said time doesn't stand still. But the 4th dimension, if you guys were listening in the beginning, is the dimension of what? Time.
Well, I don't believe it has to do with a 4th or 5th or 10th dimension. I just think in the spirit realm, from what I've researched, which I don't know who came up with this, but
Dionysus is right there.
In the spirit world, there's no such thing as time. So,
or is there?
I don't know.
We don't know
until I cross over.
Yeah.
Until I transition to the spirit world, I won't know.
But yes.
But
electromagnetic waves.
But if you go to I want to tie in the two of those things with that. Daryl, I'm with you.
Daryl said you lost
and this
me.
Is all my theory based on research, and nobody's wrong here. I want to put that out there. Nobody that anything that somebody's putting is wrong because we don't know. But these are just theories. But Ronnie said something in the first sentence. Can you pull that back up real quick? He said, so if you go to a location multiple times and get the same activity, let's start there. And then he talks about, and then you brought up, how do you get a EVP recording if a spirit has no vocals, cords, no lungs,
no air, nothing?
If go back to energy and imprinting energy into the atmosphere, how do we know that what I'm saying right now is not leaving a print into our universe? And again, this is just theory.
That's correct, Ronnie. Ours doesn't.
But if what my vocals right now is not leaving an imprint of energy into the universe, now remember, what is energy? Goes back to Angel's question. What is energy? The ability to do work. In order for me to speak, it takes energy. Yeah. So for me to put that in it, project that energy into the atmosphere, it doesn't go anywhere. My voice doesn't go out to you guys and just go away. It has to go somewhere. It never goes away. Einstein, Newton all say it can't be created or destroyed. So it has to go somewhere. Where does it go? So what if that energy somehow is captured like a recording somewhere in the atmosphere, and we're able to pick that up on certain recorders? Not all recorders catch.
Like in a different dimension?
Not all recorders catch EVPs. I've had recorders. The reason why, and I said this, if you go back to past podcasts, for a long time, I hated EVPs. I hated using recorders. You investigated with me before anybody even knew I was a paranormal investigator. I never would use a recorder because I could never catch EVPs until I switched up my recorders. And I'm not talking just to DR60. Before I got my DR60, I preached body cam. The police mollified body cam that I have has caught many EVPs on it.
So Ronnie wants to start building model airplanes, but Dionysus said spirits can attach themselves to things or places, which would be why you would go back to that one particular location and get the same spirit multiple times. Or
that's a good point.
Are they stuck in, or are there different planes, I guess, so to speak, not airplanes, but different planes,
Ronnie,
or whatever, that they can get stuck on. Energy, spirit, and light, I would say, are all interchangeable, and only humans tell time. That's actually deep. That's actually deep and a really good point.
That is deep.
Energy, spirit, really and deep. Light, I would say, are all interchangeable, and only humans tell time.
I do think that only humans tell time. But I don't know. I won't know until the day that my clock runs out.
Well, guys, like I said, going back to the whole fourth dimension theory, attributed with abilities that defy the laws of our physical universe. At the end of the day, that's what spirits do. They are defying the laws of our physical universe. They can appear and disappear at will. They can move through walls and objects. They can move locations and influence our world in ways that we are still, this is why we do what we do, trying to figure out. Could these powers be a result of their existence in this said fourth dimension? If these entities can move along the fourth dimension, they could potentially step out of our three-dimensional world and then step in at a different location, giving the appearance of like teleportation, which is why they give the appearance of like attachment, like or we hear hitchhikers, we might pick up, a spirit from a location if we didn't say goodbye properly or whatever the case may be. Either way, their ability to interact with our world while remaining invisible and intangible could also be a result of them hovering in the fourth dimension and partially intersecting with our three-dimensional world. So in conclusion, while the existence of a fourth spatial dimension and its inhabitants remains exactly this, a topic of speculation and debate, it does provide a fascinating framework to explore. And I definitely think that we should continue to just push the boundaries of our understanding. You never know what we might discover. Let's see. What does imprinting have to do with dimensions? You brought up imprinting, right?
Well, I wasn't trying to mix the two.
Hey, Kim.
I wasn't trying to mix the two with imprint and dimensions, but if I'm imprinting in this dimension, could my energy be seen in another dimension differently than it is here? So if I'm projecting my voice here, what is it appearing like to another dimension? If we're seeing something 2D here in the third dimension, how does it appear there? And vice versa. If we're in this dimension, if we're in this dimension talking,
Gotta make you think.
and we're let's say we're doing an EVP, or we hear a disembodied voice, and their dimension, if they're responding to what we're talking about, or I'm trying to think of a good way to get out what I'm trying to say. In my head, I'm saying it correctly, but it's not coming out the way I want it to. I guess kind of like the residual haunting, so to speak, or that's imprinting something, and every now and then we see it. But what if in their dimension they're really doing that every day, but we only catch a glimpse of it in our dimension? So that's kind of like what I'm talking about.
So that goes back to what I just said. They can glimpse into our 3D world, but
Right.
then pop right back. Okay, gotcha. I understand. I'm with you.
And this goes back to all theory and what you believe. Some people believe different things. So what we do is we investigate and come up with theory on everything.
Yeah. Michelle said, I always wonder why we can't hear the EVP with our ears, only on the recorder or the video. Well, once it becomes with your own ears, now you're hearing disembodied voices.
Yeah, we have heard things with our ears, Michelle.
But again, are you getting a glimpse into that other dimension?
Right.
It's glimpsing through. It's glimmering.
There's times where I've heard my name being called. Nobody's called my name. There's times, and Michelle, I'm sure if the more you're around it, you're going to hear things with your ear and see things with your eyes that isn't there. We'll never figure out the paranormal in our lifetime because I have a feeling we're making this feel way harder to explain than it really is. My opinion, remember, I'm dumb as a bag of hammers. Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but Ronnie, the reason why we have this podcast is to
just give people insight.
If we're gonna investigate, and if we're gonna go out here and try to research, wouldn't it be better to everybody throw their opinions and what they believe and their thoughts out there to help us grow the field and become better investigators? That's why we do it. I don't throw my thoughts and opinion out there to try to teach anybody anything, because I don't feel like I'm qualified nor certified to teach anybody anything, because I don't feel like I'm good at that. However, what I do feel that is if I put my theories out there and I hear your response and I hear Michelle's and everybody else who puts their 2 cents in, then I now have more to go out with when I'm investigating and see things. There's things that you've said and everyone else in here has said that I've been able to take out here in the field with me.
For sure.
And it's helped me grow as an investigator just through the years of having a podcast and meeting people. So I feel like the whole point of our podcast is to bring up topics and talk just to help everybody grow as a whole. It's not to teach or educate. It's just basically to share theories. Even sometimes me talking about my own theories and hearing the stuff that y'all counter with has helped me change a lot of my theories and grow as well as an investigator. Some people choose to just go out and throw every piece of equipment they have and see what they get, and are satisfied with that, and that's okay too. Not saying you do, but that's what some people are happy with, and the joy of seeing people happy with whatever they do, if that's what makes you joy. We live a very short life compared to the age of this earth. If you think about it, the earth will keep turning and keep going long after any of us are here. So while we're here, you got to find joy in what you're doing. But I honestly am a believer, if you're going to do something, try to be decent at it and get the most out of it. And that's the point of the show.
Well, okay. So let me back this up and let me pick everybody's brain at a different level here. Okay. So altered state of consciousness. All right. I'm just going to say that one phrase, altered state of consciousness. Technically, based on all this theory that I just read with entering into each dimension, you can actually reach a certain level of consciousness until you reach this said ninth dimension, right? So, what if somehow this is intertwining with the things that people are seeing and hearing that say may have mental health diagnoses or are under the influence of certain drugs? They're technically in an altered state of consciousness. If they're under the influence of, say, a hallucinogenic, okay, they're literally altering their mind and their state of consciousness. So, under this hallucinogenic, are they at that point able to step into another dimension? Or let's take it on like a mental health side, okay? They're seeing and hearing things that we cannot see and hear. What if they're actually able or born with the ability to step in and out of our just basic three-dimensional world? What if they're born with that ability? A lot of Native American theories suggest that when, to become a man at such and such age, you're getting sent up onto a hill naked, alone. You're going to sit up there. You're going to smoke this peyote and you're going to go and you're going to alter your state of consciousness. And once you see your spirit animal is when at that point you become a man and you can come back to the tribe, marry, reproduce, and do whatever it is you do. Okay. Hey, Lois.
Hey, Lois.
So, I mean, if you think about it, they're literally sitting up there. And then what happens? They're up there with no food, no water, smoking something, and they're altering their mind. So, what if they're sitting out there and they're entering into or going down these different levels of dimensions, so to speak, and once they reach that like supreme level, whether it's, 9 divinity or whatever, then at that point they see their spirit animal because they're 1A dehydrated and starving, and that's why they're hallucinating. And so then they step back. Dionysus says, I've seen a lot of spirits. They use telepathy, sort of burned images. I believe in telepathy. Clear cognizance and clear sentence plays a part. We have psychic abilities we need to tune into. I 100% believe that. I do. We personally have recently been on an investigation that we had a spirit reading our comments in our TikTok live.
Yeah.
It was the most bizarre thing I have ever seen in my life. I can't explain it.
That sounds crazy too. You say it out loud.
Yeah, when I just said it out loud,
it sounds stupid as hell.
I was not on the peyote, guys. I was not on the peyote.
Sure, you won't smoke it.
But I'm trying to tell you, these people were asking questions in our TikTok live, and the spirit box was answering the questions that were being asked in the live before I could even say them out loud. So either they were reading the comments in the live, or they were in my mind while I was reading them, in my subconscious. Okay. So I don't know. I wasn't trying to stir the shit bucket. I said everything with a smile on my face. I respect everything you guys do on this podcast. You guys know how I roll. Nothing but love. Ronnie,
stop it.
We know. We love a good debate. We love a good debate. Okay. We do.
Yes, you were trying to stir the shit
bucket. But, in a nutshell, the whole point of this was to let you guys know that spirits are hanging out in the fourth dimension, guys. This is the space between heaven and earth. Originally, when a human or an animal passes away and leaves their physical bodies, they go from the third to the fourth dimension and on higher. It is a step up transformer. All right. This helps us raise our frequency as we return home to the higher realms. However, this dimension has now become problematic. This is where those beings who left the light of God's source ended up. They have hijacked this dimension and soul nap human souls for energetic benefit.
It sounds like a video game.
They no longer have access to this energy, and then they have to utilize like the human dimension too. So this is why it's so important for ghost souls to cross over into the higher realms as fast as possible. But some of them get stuck, okay, in that fourth dimension. I did ask and I wanted to know, can a spirit ever step out of the fourth dimension? I want to know. Like, are they just stuck there forever? Can they get to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or the 27th, however many there are? And like, this is the answer that I got right here. The fourth dimension is associated with time, which is complicating the concept of movements between dimensions. Different cultures have varying beliefs about spirits and their dimensional existence, but current scientific understanding, so Ronnie, this one's for you, does not support the existence of spirits at all or their ability to traverse dimensions. So there is no scientific backing to this, guys. And this is where Sean came in and he said, this is all theory. All right. Anecdotal evidence exists, but lacks empirical support for spirits interacting with our dimension. So that has to go with paranormal claims. All right. We've got anecdotal evidence here, but we lack the empirical supports. Some philosophies suggest that spirits exist beyond physical constraints, potentially allowing for dimensional movement. That's a philosophical view. They can actually move from the fourth dimension, third dimension, wherever they want to go. And many individuals report encounters with spirits, but these experiences are subjective and they're not universally accepted. So at the end of the day, guys, here's my personal opinion. All right. I think spirits can move dimensions. I don't think they're stuck in one. I do think that they're stuck in one above ours. I think that they have the ability to kind of flash into ours, but it's almost like dangerous if they come all the way into ours, so to speak, or they might not have all the energy that they need or the ability, so to speak, to come all the way into ours. I think if they do, that's when they show up in the form of full-bodied apparitions. That's when, you see shadow figures, but I'm not so sure that those are actual spiritual beings. And I'm not going to throw like the D word out there, but I'm not so sure that they aren't another being other than like a human spirit. Okay. I do think that spirits can travel wherever they want to go amongst the dimensions. I do think that we do catch glimpses with, equipment interaction, EVPs, spirit box answers, things like that. They run off of, and I think it was, I forgot where that comment was up above. I think it was Dionysus put it up there and said, spirits travel along electromagnetic waves. And I do believe that. I believe that's where a lot of our spirit box interaction comes from. They form a voice based off of like EMF and things like that. You know, so to me, this is the number one reason why I am a paranormal investigator. I will never ever stop trying to figure out what is going the heck on. I want to know all the ins and outs. What makes things blink? Is that a spirit touching it? How are they touching it? Why are they touching it? Why are they here? Why are they stuck here? And things like that. So this will keep me investigating until I am old, gray, and decrepit and cannot do this anymore. And then I will become a spirit and I will come back and touch all of your REM pods, especially yours.
Good luck with that because I don't use them.
So, in conclusion, guys, that is my personal opinion. I loved everybody's opinions here. So,
nice meeting you.
Thanks, Dionysus. Thank you for all your insight. That was very, very intelligent. Yeah. We appreciate it and hope to see you again. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the family.
Yes. And James said, I love it when a spirit answers you before you get the question out. That's another fascination thing. Like, what if they're in a higher level of consciousness than we are, and they can actually like almost mind link with us?
A lot of theory on that.
I mean,
they say that they can read our thoughts.
Yes.
She's there now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is hair dye, guys. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. All we do, guys, on this podcast, for those of you that this might be your first time tuning in, is we just provide different perspective.
It's all a theory.
It's all theories. Paranormal investigating is a theory at the end of the day. We have no flipping idea what is going on. We don't.
And we'll be the first to tell you, we investigate a lot.
Yeah.
Weekly.
Twice a week.
And I'll tell you that we know nothing.
Nothing.
We have captured some great stuff. We have a lot of good evidence, and we can't tell you nothing about it. I can tell you how I got it, but I can tell you that we know nothing. All we have to tell you is our thoughts, our theory based on experience, and I can't really teach you about what it is or how it moves or nothing. We can only thing we can give you is theory, and I'll stick to this saying that there are no experts in this field. I don't care who it is, what your degree is, who trained you. You don't know until you yourself become a spirit. Then you'll have every answer to this stuff. Everything else is straight theory, and I'll stick to that. That one I do know for a fact. And there's no way you can possibly know what's going on until you become that. This is the one thing. And science is all theory.
I do think that there's exercises that you might be able to do, guys, to be able to, maybe like reach a heightened level of consciousness. I do know, and I did a podcast on this, guys, how to open your third eye. I do believe that there are exercises, meditation, and things like that. I personally have never rolled up on a monk, but if they are deeply in their meditation, it is very, very hard to pull them out of that. I mean, there's
monks walking across the United States right now.
I know. 30,000 of them.
Yeah.
It's a peace walk. I'm here for it. I'm going to go join them. I'm just going to join them for like 5 feet though, not like 30. Texas to DC. That's crazy. But, I'm here for it. I'm supporting them.
Wait, they got monks in Texas?
I think there's monks all over the place. They're coming from like Texas to DC or something. Well, thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. But,
Daryl.
But yeah, I do think that could be another topic for another day, like different, things you can do. James, this is what I was talking about earlier, like heightened levels of consciousness, like hallucinogenics do that to people.
We learned everything we know from Daryl Paulette and Ronnie Anderson.
Yeah, I do believe that hallucinogenics can definitely alter your level of consciousness. Yeah. And then that was the question that I just asked a second ago. What if they're not tripping, so to speak? What if they really are seeing shit? I mean, hell, look at the story of Jesse James. He was in the bar, got 3 sheets to the wind, pulled out his pistol because the ghosts were fighting him, and proceeded to shoot up the bar. And eyewitness account said there was nothing there that he was shooting at, but he was yelling at them all to get the hell out of his face. So alcohol, different level of consciousness. Why I believe in things Native American people can do, they have different abilities. Yeah, exactly. I do believe that depending on your spiritual nature and, how you're raised spiritually, your personal beliefs, I believe you can definitely reach higher dimensions and higher levels of consciousness. I do. Yeah. I think it's a lot of discipline. I think it's a lot of giving up on worldly desires, which unfortunately this is our number one right here. I mean, we as humans 100% rely on technology.
Especially you.
That will alter. So, but guys, I want to thank you guys. I know it was a little bit boring for some. I'm sorry. But we've got to put it out there because that's why we're here. We've got to get the hell out of here. All right. I can't do the voice like you, but that was my attempt.
Get the hell out of here.
But yeah, I'm with you, Robert. I am. But again, guys, thank you for sticking it out with us. I appreciate it. Head on over to the freaking awesome paranormal show. They're on the Rift Nation Network. Excellent folks, guys. I'm sure their topic will be much more fun. But if I didn't make you kind of go, at least one time, then I didn't do my job. But I can almost bank on somebody in this chat at least thought to themselves one time, I need to look into this. One of those 3 a.m. rabbit holes, guys. Could it be a conspiracy theory? We don't know. Like Sean said, we're never going to know till we leave this earth. And then at that point, we'll know. So, Ronnie, we love you. Thanks for heckling me like always. I'm just kidding. I appreciate your opinion. I do. I love a good pushback, love a good debate. And I love different theories. I love it because this is how I grow and learn. So thank you, Ronnie, for sending me down a whole nother rabbit hole because I'm heading off here to go look into multiverse. And I can give you another one later. So again, guys, head on over to Rift Nation Network. We'll see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
If you're in the Lynchburg area and you're single or you have a date, Friday,
Sean is trying to hook up.
The 13th. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm single and ready to mingle. Friday, February the 13th. Yours truly is hosting the investigation at the Sandusky House here in Lynchburg. It was a federal headquarters during the Battle of Lynchburg in 1864. We have investigated plenty, have gotten some great evidence. We've had Dr. Ed Odell, a.k.a. Howie, come investigate it with us. Got a nice apparition in there, full body in there.
Don't get ghosted this Valentine's Day. Come join us.
Yeah.
Chris
Mendez came.
What's up, NSPS?
What's up,
Terry?
Got the road, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
Yeah, great location. Got the ticket prices cheap for y'all.
Yep. And the link and the event is on our social media pages, guys. Facebook, Hill City Paranormal on the other side, wherever you want to find it. Ticket link is live, baby.
It's live, baby, yeah.
But we'll see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we'll see you
on the other side.